Okay, this is question 22 and question 22. The table gives some information about the speeds in kilometers per hour of 100 cars. So this should add up to 100. I could check that, but the frequency is always going to add up to 100 because that's the total number of cars. On the grid below, draw a histogram to show this information. So they want me to draw a histogram to show this information. I know exactly what I need to do here. I need to draw two more columns, and one column I'm going to make a note of what the class widths are, CW, and then the next one I'm going to work out frequency density. Okay, now the class width of the first one is 5. That's how big it is. So 65 take away 60 is 5. 70 take away 65, that's 5. 80 take away 70, that's 10. And 100 take away 80, that's 20. That's the class width. That's how big the classes are. And to work out the frequency density, it's frequency divided by class width. So I'm going to divide here. I'm going to divide the frequency by the class width. So 15 divided by 5 is 3. 25 divided by 5 is 5. 36 divided by 10 is 3.6. And 24 divided by 20 is the same as 12 divided by 10, which is 1.2. All right. On the graph, they haven't put a scale here, and I reckon they're going to give me marks for writing frequency density. I need to write that in, and then I need to put an appropriate scale, and I'm going to start off by doing this in pencil. This goes up to 5. That's the biggest number. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That is spot on. So I'll put those in pen now. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And put frequency density. So I've actually accumulated a fair bit of marks. I reckon I'm going to get a mark for all of those. I'm going to get a mark for the scale and writing frequency there. There's 3 marks for all together. I just need to draw the histogram now. So the first class goes from 60 to 65, 60 to 65, so I'll put a little marker there, and it goes up to 3. There's my first bar. The second one goes from 65 to 70, and it goes all the way up to 5, so there you go. The next one goes from 70 to 80, and it goes up to 3.6. So that there is 3.5. 3.6 is there, and that goes all the way across from 70 to 80. 70 to 80. So put that in. And then the last one is 80 to 100, and that goes up to 1.2. So that's 1.2, and we said 70 to 80. 80 to 100. So 80 to 100, there's 100. It goes up to 1.2, and there you go. Okay, so there is my histogram. That shows all the information on this table. The groups, the class width is how big the groups are. Frequency divided by class width gives you frequency density. I put the scale in, and now I drew the bars as wide as the class width and going up to the frequency densities on this. That's 3 marks. If you know how to do it, it's really easy. Okay? Okay, let's look at the next part of the question. This part of the question says, work out an estimate for the number of cars with a speed of more than 85 kilometers per hour. So you need to work out the number of cars with a speed more than 85 kilometers per hour. On a histogram, it's the area of the blocks that tell you the number of cars. So if they said 85, so 85 is there, 85 kilometers per hour. If I want to work out the number of cars that have a speed greater than 85 kilometers per hour, it's this section that I need to do here. Now, I am shading this in for your benefit, right? You don't necessarily need to do this in the exam. However, if you do, the examiners will understand what you mean, right? But that there is the area you need to work out. How high does it go? It's 1.2 high. And how wide is that rectangle? Remember, the area for rectangle is length times width. How wide is that rectangle? Well, that rectangle is, let's see, that's 85, that's 5, 10, so that's 15 wide. So the maths you need to do is 15 times 1.2. Now remember, this is a non-calculator paper. Non-calculator paper, still need to be able to work it out and work it out properly. Several ways of doing that. You could go off and work out 15 times 12 and then put one decimal place in there. You could do it in several different ways. You could do long multiplication, you could do the box method. Whatever method or technique you have, do employ that. What I will do though, what I may well do is I'll break it down into two sections. If I did 15 times 12, right, so 12 times 5 is 60, 12 times 1 is 12, add 6 is 18, so my answer is going to be 180, and I need to put one decimal place in there. So my overall answer is going to be 18 cars had a speed greater than or more than 85 kilometers per hour. Now, really popular this question is. Make sure you're familiar with it and you're able to do it, and you could pick up easily 5 marks here towards the tail end of the paper. Okay.